Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Big Red and we are coming to you with our third unboxing, the Faceless Menace. Ba-boom! We've done two unboxings so far. This is our third. We've already covered the Rage deck and the Token deck. So this is the Morph deck. This is one of the four in the Commander 2019 edition. We've been really excited to see some of the stuff that's in this set. I actually got to play with some of them today, and I can honestly say they're really good. They really seem to hold up against other people's Commander decks. Straight out of the box, I have to say they are worth the pickup. So if you don't have one, go to your local game store. If you ain't got one, go to a Walmart, pick one of these up. They are definitely worth it. So let's get right to this one. This will probably be the next one that I actually get to play. I'm really excited for it. Some new commanders, some new cards getting to play with. It's always exciting this time of year when that happens. Throw away our trash. Once again, I don't know if you've seen the other videos, pull it apart and then press down, and usually the card comes right out without any issue. So, our commander in this set is Kadena, Slinking Sorcerer. It is blue, green, black, and one colorless for a 3/3. The first face-down creature spell you cast each turn costs 3 less to cast. Whenever a face-down creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Wow. This is probably my favorite foil out of all of them. I think this is definitely the prettiest one. Something you may have heard me say over the few of them is like the foil seems really foggy. This one has a little bit to it, but man, the foil really makes her armor and stuff really stick out, and the parts that aren't really foil are really, really nice. Almost kind of puts me in mind of Yu-Gi-Oh! With some of the glamour stuff. But anyways, enough gawking at the big, oversized card. Let's get to some of the smaller, playable Magic the Gathering cards, shall we? Open our box. These are really neat. This is going to come with your deck. This is just kind of like a little introductory thing. It's like, hey, look at me. I'm a piece of paper if I'm going to tell you about the deck, some of the things that you can do in the deck. Some really nice read here. If you get the time, go through it. We're not going to read over it and go through it. That's more time than we really have to put toward this. Keep your box. They're really neat. Okay, so here's our nice thick commander deck. One thing I've liked in this is the tokens. I'm really glad that they stayed with the extended art on the tokens. I think it's really pretty, and hopefully they keep that up. Excuse me. Okay. Once again, they give you this little popular Magic format, Standard, Booster, Draft, and Commander, and they leave out Modern, which is the most popular one of the formats that we have. Okay. So, we've done one over our Commander, and in this, usually in the Commanders, they always give you a couple options. Our first option that we come to is Rayami, First of the Fallen. It's one of each of our colors and one colorless for a 5/4. If a non-token creature would die, exile that card with a blood counter on it instead. As long as an exiled creature card with a blood counter on it has flying, Rame also has flying. The same is true for First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Haze, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Protection, Reach, Trample, and Vigilance. Blah, that is a lot of text, and I mean, immediately, just by reading this card, my mind starts racing. Things to do with this commander deck, things to add in there, things to make it broken, things to make it powerful. You basically play this, and you want to basically build your field, kill your field. It's a lot of neat things that we can do with this. Our second option is Volrath, the Shape Stealer. This is one of each of our colors in 2 for a 7/5 at the beginning of combat on your turn. Put a -1/1 counter on up to one target creature. You can pay 1 colorless until your next turn. Volrath becomes a copy of target creature with a counter on it, except it's 7/5 and it has this ability. Now, let's read this. With a counter on it. Until your next turn, Volrath becomes a copy of target creature with a counter on it, except it's a 7/5. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I understand at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a -1/1 counter on up to one target creature. But it says down here, it becomes a copy of target creature with a counter. It doesn't say what kind of counter. It doesn't say life counter or +1/1 counter. So in my mind starts racing. It's like, what if my opponent has +1/1 counters? Can this become a copy of this? These are things we have to ask ourselves as we go through these. All right, here's some of my favorite parts of these commander decks so far. We have the tokens. I always really enjoyed the tokens so far. The red-black one really confused me because you have double-sided zombie tokens. So I feel like that was just kind of like a filler, but I could be wrong. All right, we have Saprolink, 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 Saprolink. And then we have the Assassin. These are the nice-looking Assassins. I guess this is from, what's her name? Snake-haired lady. Assassin, Assassin, Assassin. Then we have a Plant. Plant. I tell you what, this Plant looks so good zoomed in. Then we also have Manifest, 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 Morph, 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 Snake, and Snake. Snake and Snake. So, these tokens are really pretty. The colors really come out on these tokens. I'd love to see what these look like in a good foil process. I think it'd be really pretty. I like that. I like me some tokens. Alright, on to the deck. On to the meat and potatoes. This is the part that we all came for. Okay, once again, guys, I'm going to be doing a in-depth look at some of these cards. I'm going to be reading them. I'm going to be looking at all these cards. So if you're looking for just a deck list, you can Google up the deck list. It'll give you all the cards and stuff. But I'm going to do that right here, one by one, with you. I'm going to take me a drink, and then we're going to go over this deck. I am thirsty boy. Big thirst. All right. So, the first card we come to is Leadership Vacuum. It is a 2 and a blue instant speed. Target player returns each commander they control from the battlefield to the command zone. Then you get to draw a card. So you can bounce your commander. You can bounce someone else's commander. I like how it says each commander they control. So if you're dealing with a situation where someone has gained control of one of the player or commanders, this is fine. You can return your own. If there's a field wipe or something that to happen, and you want to just return it to your hand that way, or no, it's to the command zone. So I'm sure this has just a spot removal, but it's really interesting. So I guess bounce and stuff like that, you can boop. It's a really interesting card. Okay, Mire of Misery. I think this card is in another deck. It's a 2-drop sorcerer speed. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or enchantment. This ain't a bad card. I think this is a new one. This gives black basically a way to get rid of enchantments, but not really. I mean, as long as they have a creature that they prefer to die with, they're always going to take that. So it's really hard whenever you give your opponent options. That's bad. You want all the options. You do not want your opponent to have any options. So this is probably a card that'll get taken out and replaced. Then we have Voice of Many. This is a 4-drop for a 3/3. Enters the battlefield. Draw a card for each opponent who controls fewer creatures than you. I think this was also in the token deck that they came out with. It's not bad. It's actually really good. I thought about maybe even putting it in an elf deck, because when are you ever going to have that? I just wish it let you draw more cards. It's very conditional. Scar Tiller. It's a 4-drop, 1/4 artifact creature scarecrow. Whenever it becomes tapped, choose one. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. This is a really interesting card for the situation. Is you don't necessarily have to attack with it. You just need to tap it for it to get its benefit, which is really great. You can use this with, there's several different enchantments out there. The equipped creature has tap, have some set of sort of effect, and that's what's really good with this. You just tap it, get stuff back, and you can really abuse this. I like it. Alright, Echoing Truth. This is a card that I know and love. I really like this card. I even run this in some of my homebrew commanders. Echoing Truth is a 2-drop instant speed, return target non-land permanent, and all other permanents with the same name as that permanent to its owner's hand. So this is really good against token decks and stuff like that, because you're going to have this mass field of tokens, one spell, boop, they're all gone. Same thing with like Bile Blight, I think, is another one that targets them, but this is just straight moves, so it's really good against tokens, but also it's really good spot removal for any permanent, really. Alright, Reality Shift. 2-drop instant speed, exile target creature's controller manifest the top card of their library. So that's a good removal. You're getting rid of the creature, they get to manifest something, but it could be something like a planeswalker or enchantment or something that they're not going to get no value of. So in a way, it's kind of 2 forms of removal, unless it's a creature. So it's very conditional, but I really like this card. Tezzeret's Gambit. It's 3 and a Phyrexian mana. Draw 2 cards, then proliferate. Work with me on my pronunciation. These are big words. We're going to do this together. This is now a learning class of how to pronounce words. Magic the Gathering is such a wonderful thing to do that to help us learn. Anyway, so on and so forth. Sorcery speed, 3. It's not bad. I feel like the proliferate mechanic, you can work around it. Okay, so we have 2 and for a 1/2 with Morph 2. When it is turn face up, change the target to target spell or ability with a single target. Now there's a difference between Morph and Megamorph. Morph, you just pay 3 mana to play it. You can pay 2 to flip this one over. And each one has different morph costs. And we'll go over Megamorph once we get there. Then we have Skin Thinner for a 2-drop for a 2/1 with Morph 5. When it is turn face up, destroy target non-black creature. It can't be regenerated. So regular would just have a 2 for a 2/1, not very good whatsoever. The Morph ability is a little expensive, but in theory you're getting a removal spell and you're paying mana for this. If the Morph cost is cheaper, then I like that a lot better. Inok Survivalist. 2-drop for a 2/1 with Megamorph. The difference between Morph and Megamorph is when Megamorph, you may cast this card for face down, costs 3. That's the same. Turn it face up anytime for its Megamorph cost and put a 1/1 counter on it. The difference between it is the Megamorph, you get a 1/1 counter. When this is turned face up, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. So this is artifact or enchantment removal, and it's a creature, so it's not bad. And you're going to want to do it for its Megamorph cost. And the bright side is with our commander's ability to make our first creature cost list, you're paying the Megamorph. So in theory, this is cheaper just to do the Megamorph. You pay 3 to get it free, pay 2, flip it, and you got a 3/2 that gets rid of an artifact or enchantment. So that's a lot better. Cultivate. It's a good classic one. This is going to be in all the green stuff. Search your library for up to 2 basic lands, reveal those cards, put 1 on the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand. And if you haven't played Land Return, then play the one you got. Explore. You may play an additional land this turn. Draw a card. Really pretty art. Farseek. 2-drop sorcery. Search a library for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain card and put it onto the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle your library. The reason that you can't get a forest is because look at the art. You're in the forest looking out into the city. One thing to keep in mind is where it says plains, island, swamp, mountain, you can go get shock lands or some of those check lands because those also classify as your mountains and stuff. So if you go get a mountain forest, that's fine. And that's why this card right here is really good. Great Oak Guardian. It's a 6-drop for a 4/5 with flash and reach. When Great Oak Guardian enters the battlefield, creatures target player controls gets 2/2 until the end of turn. Untap them. So this is really neat if you're thinking about it. If you're in a pod and someone's swinging out, this is something really good to just flash in and give their creatures, because target player controls gets 2/2. So even if you don't have a massive field, this may be a way for you to help someone else kill another player. So that's something to keep in consideration. Nantuko Vigilante. 4 for a 3/2 with regular morph. Whenever it's turned face up, destroy target artifact enchantment. See, this is another one. This is honestly cheaper to do the morph, you're getting so much benefit from doing your morph. That's one thing you definitely want to do. Sakura Tribe Elder. This is a reprint with new art. 2-drop for a 1/1 that you can sacrifice. Search your library for a basic land, put that onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Really good card, sees modern play, maybe legacy play. We have Ice Feather Haven. 2-drop, a green and a blue for flying 2/2 with morph. And whenever his turn face up, you may return another target creature to its owner's hand. So not bad. You're paying 1 colorless mana to bounce something. So not bad. Really like the art on this one. Putrefy. Wow, that was hard to get out. So, green, black, and a colorless. Instant speed, destroy target artifact or creature. It cannot be regenerated. No regenerating for you, mister. Very good. Secret Plan. It's a secret. It's a 2-drop enchantment. Face down creatures you control get 0/1. Whenever a permanent you control is turned up, you draw a card. Secret. One of all our colors. Choose one. Destroy target monocolor creature. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Draw cards, then discard a card. This is one of those cards I'm more than willing to pay the little extra mana because I have so many options. And for me, honestly, one of my golden rules in Commander is the more options you have, the better you have. I mean, you don't want to pay 10 mana for a card that has 5 options, but something like this, 3 mana, 3 options, is well worth it in Commander because you never know what you're going to come across. And for instant speed option like that, well worth having. Urban Evolution is 5 mana. Draw 3 cards. You may play an additional land this turn. So this is some ramp. It's really nice. Soul Ring. You can't have a deck without Soul Ring. 1 mana. Taps for 2 colorless. So it immediately starts ramping you. It pays you back for the Soul Ring playing it. And Thran Dynamo with Soul Ring, you're getting this out on turn 2. You're tapping it for 3, so you're still 1 mana up, and you have all this mana for your following turn. That's nice to see in the deck. Okay. Then we have an island. It taps for blue. This island taps for baby blue. This island taps for navy blue, and each one of those has a special place. Here's that baby blue again. You have to remember all these islands whenever you're going through, because each shade of blue has a different purpose. Keep that in mind. Kadina's Silencer. 2-drop for a 2/1 whenever his turn face up. Counter all abilities your opponents control. Megamorph for 2 to put a 1/1 counter on it and face it up. They should have just put Morph on the back of these. That would have been cool. But it would have been bad. Okay. Sudden Substitution. 4-drop for an instant speed. Split second. And exchange control of target non-creature spell and target creature. Then the spell's controller may choose new targets for that spell. Very interesting. I like that card. Here's one that I always thought was kind of cool. Just the art on it looks really neat. 4-drop for a 1/1 with flash. When it enters the battlefield with number 1 counters on it equal to the greatest number of cards an opponent has drawn this turn. When this dies, draw cards equal to its power. So, I mean, it's a 4-drop for a 1/1 with flash, but it could get really big. And considering we all draw cards for turn, the worst that you could do is get a 4-drop for 2/2 with flash. Absolute worst. Here's a good card. If you watch the Command Zone, I got to see this card actually play, and it looked a lot of fun. Gift of Doom is a 5-drop enchantment aura. Enchant creature has Death Touch and Indestructible. You can morph it by sacrificing another creature. As Gift of Doom is turned face up, you may attach it to the creature. So that's kind of cool. That's really neat to see a mechanic like this. And considering that your commander, you play your commander, you play this face down for free, sacrifice another creature, this gets Indestructible and Death Touch. What a deal! No, seriously, what a deal. Okay, here's a neat one. This is a Ape Snake. I would hate to see one of these in real life. Thieving Amalgam. I don't know, I'm pronouncing that wrong. So we have a 7-drop At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may manifest the top card of that player's library. Alright? Whenever a creature you control but don't own dies, its owner loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So that's kind of cool. Beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you manifest the top card of that player's library. So you get their 2/2. I really like this. I just wish it was just a tad bit cheaper, but I guess in Commander you're still getting this out on like turn 4 or 5. So, not bad. I actually like that card a lot. Apex Altissaur. It's a 9-drop for a 10/10. When this creature enters the battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Enrage. When this creature is dealt damage, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So that's interesting. If you're looking for like a field wipe situation, you can play it, have it fight something because it's dealt damage, have it fight something else because it's dealt damage, and you can just keep doing this. Wait a minute. Oh my god. Hold on guys. My mind goes a million miles an hour. Okay guys, get this, okay? We have this face down, right? This enters the battlefield. When it enters the battlefield, you may have it fight up to 1 target creature. Target the creature. On the stack of the target, sacrifice the creature. Morph this. Equip it here. Enchant creature is death touch and indestructible. Because of this, you wipe the board. What a deal! This is amazing combo. Wow, that's amazing. I wonder if they saw that when they was putting that together. This is why you come to me, guys. This is why, because I think about this stuff. I love it. I'm going to give me another drink of some delicious orange soda. I'm going to try not to pour it all over my brand new cards. I'm thirsty, boy. Okay. Bear with me here. Everything that you see is all natural. There's no funny camera work. I'm recording this off my phone. So stick with me, guys. We're going to have a good time. Everything you see is all natural. No funny magic tricks here. Road of Return. 2-drop, sorcery. Choose 1. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. No spells, just permanent, but you can get lands with it. Put your commander into your hand from the command zone. That's a good one. Entwine. Ooh, the entwine mechanic. So you get to do both. I really like that they did that. I really like that you can put your commander from the command zone into your hand, because sometimes in games of Commander, they just get so expensive. Play it, kill it, play it, kill it, play it, kill it. Oh, I can't afford it. It costs 10 more to cast. So this right here is a really nice spell. I really wish it was instant, though, but that's just me being greedy. Alright, here's one of those. I believe this should go in a group hug deck. A good buddy deck. 3-drop for a 3/3 with trample. At the beginning of your end step, each player creates a 1/1 green planet creature token. Whenever a creature token dies, put a 1/1 counter on this. So this is really neat because everyone's getting plants, but if something happened to all the plants, my dude gets really bigger. So those two over there creating a war, my guy's getting bigger because of it. I like this card. Okay, here's one. 3-drop, pit enters the battlefield under your control, under the control of an opponent of your choice. They can pay 2, tap it, draw a card, then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Pendant across the owner draws a card, then that player may put a land. So basically, you play this, give it to your opponent, and hope with all of your heart and all of your soul that the person you give it to decides to use this. Because if you give it to somebody and they're like, you know what, I'm not going to use this. I have all the lands I have. I don't need any card draw. And for me to do this, I'm going to have to pay 2 of my mana so you can draw a card. This is bad. Unless this is one of those friendly pods where everyone's best friends are like, hey, help me out. I'll give you this. You give me draw stuff. This is the only way this is going to work. This would never survive in competitive EDH. And this will probably be one of the first things to go out of this deck, because the thing about Commander is you can't always give your opponent the option to help you out, and that's exactly what this is. It's just a straight option, and they still control the artifact themselves. So it's their artifact. It's just your ownership of it. So that's a bad card unless you're playing really friendship. Scroll of Fate. A 3-drop artifact with tap manifests a card from your hand. Okay, now with this, I really like this. Because if you're getting overflooded with lands, you got an enchantment or artifact, that just sucks. This allows you to get some creature power on the board. This card is well welcomed. They got the emblem a little bit too far to the right there. But anyways, this card is well welcomed. It allows you to just tap, get your dude on the field. That's fine. I mean, that gives you 2-3 options to do that, which is great. Ghastly Constriction. It's a 7-drop. Exile all creature cards from target player's graveyard in a face-down pile. Shuffle that pile, then manifest those cards. That's interesting. So, you get to see what it is, but they don't get to see what it is if it's yours. This is very interesting. Death Miss Raptor. This was a good one back in Standard. 3-drop for a 3/3 with Death Touch. Whenever a permanent you control is turned face up, you may return Death Miss Raptor from your graveyard to the battlefield, face up or face down, with Megamorph for 5. Not bad. Hooded Hydra. This was probably a really good one. 2 and X, Snake Hydra. And there's a battlefield with X 1/1 counters on it. When it dies, create a 1/1 green snake creature token for each 1/1 counter on it. This would be good in the token deck as well, but it's here because of the morph mechanic. As it is turn face up, put 5 1/1 counters on it. So that's cool. So you're playing 5 to Megamorph it. So yeah, this is cheaper. But the thing about it is, how do you got to get it face down. So that's what some of those 1 cards is. It has Megamorph, but you have to find a way to get it face down. It's interesting. Alright, Vraska. This is our girl that we was talking about. This is Vraska the Unseen. It's a 5-drop for a 5 loyalty. You can +1 until your next turn, where whenever a creature does combat damage to Vraska, destroy that creature. -3, destroy target non-land permanent. That's very important. Non-land permanent. Or -7, create 3 1/1 black assassin creature tokens with, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. So, here's the deal with this. This is a good planeswalker. This is a good one. But I would much prefer the one that says whenever a creature you control deals damage to a player, they lose the game. Because this one right here, you -7, you're probably going to kill her. You get the 3 assassins. That's great. But unless they're unblockable, indestructible, they're going to get killed, they're going to get removable, they don't have haste, they're not unblockable. So they're probably not ever going to make it through. And where they're 1/1s, they die to everything. Now with the other Vraska that says whenever any creature you control, this allows you to basically, anytime you're dealt damage by any creature, you have to block everything every time, or you die. Alright, moving right along, we have a 5-drop Chrome Shell Crab for 3/3 or more for 5. Whenever it is turned face up, you may exchange control of target creature you control and target creature an opponent controls. I think that's kind of cool. I love the art on this too. Let's see if I can get a closer look. Look at that little skeleton right there. Makes that crab look a lot bigger, don't it? I love some of the art they put on these. 5-drop. It is Excedrin for a star. As it enters the battlefield, turn all other non-token creatures face down. This is also another way that we can morph our Hydra. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of face-down creatures on the battlefield. And there's things that we can do here. This turns them face down. We can flip them face back up again. That gives us more draw triggers off the enchantment. There's a lot of synergy here. Smell Stature. 4-drop for a 3/3 with morph for 6. Whenever it is turned face up, counter target spell. If the spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it on its owner's graveyard, into its owner's graveyard. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost for as long as it remains exiled. This is really good and really sneaky. I just wish there was a way that we could get it to turn face up regularly. Like, without having to have the mana, I mean. Alright, Stratos Dancer. 2-drop for a 2/1. Flying Megamorph. When it is turned face up, counter target instant or sorcery spell. So it seems like we kind of got a control thing going on here. 6 for a 5/6, flying with regular morph. When it's turned face up, return all other tapped creatures to their owner's hand. That sounds like a trick mechanic. It's like, hey, swing at me. Oh, they're all gone. So that's really cool. Alright, the art on this looks really nice. Vesuvian Shapeshifter. We have a 5-drop for a 0/0. Enters the battlefield or is turned face up. You may choose another creature on the battlefield. If you do, until Vesuvian Shapeshifter is turned face down, it becomes a copy of that creature, except it has at the beginning of your upkeep, you may turn this creature face down. Keep in mind, it says may, so we can leave it up as much as we want. And morph is only 2. This is a really good card. I don't know if this was printed just for this, or this is another printing, but I like that one. That's pretty good. Alright, here's our field wipe. Bane of the Living. 4-drop for a 4/3 with morph 2 and X. When Bane is turned face up, all creatures get -X until the end of turn. This is really good because we need more instant speed removals. And I say this because I'm not up against an instant speed removal. It's always better when you're on the side that's controlling it. So this is a really good situation because you can instant speed possibly wipe the field. You can instant speed remove some threats. And they don't know it's coming. And it's morph. So there isn't nothing they can really do about it. It's just going to happen. Excuse me. Grim Herspex. 3 mana for a 3/2, morph for 1 black. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, draw a card. Simple. Hex. For 6 mana, you're going to destroy 6 target creatures. Better pick some good ones. I wish they didn't cost so much, but you are destroying 6 creatures, so 1 black for each creature ain't bad, I guess. Silumgard Assassin. For 2, for a 2/1, creatures with power greater than Silumgard Assassin, its power can't block it. Megamorph is 3. When it is turned face up, destroy a target creature with power 3 or less an opponent controls. Den Protector. This used to be some money. 2 for a 2/1, creatures with power less than Den Protector can't block it. Megamorph for 2. When it is turned face up, return target card from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is really nice if you can keep it going back and forth. Put it face down, flip it up, get something back. Put it down, face up, get something back. It's not bad. Overwhelming Stampede is a 5-drop sorcery speed until end of turn. Creatures you control gain trample and get XX, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. I really like how it's one big rhino and a bunch of elves. It's kind of like they knew. Alright, here's a good one. This is a reprint, and actually a pretty good one too. I was really happy with its last reprint. It's a 5-drop for a 2/4. Untap all permanents you control during each other player's untap step. This is vital to this deck because you're paying all this mana to morph these creatures into play. So if we have all of our lands tapped, we don't really get to megamorph or to unmorph our stuff. So having this card on the battlefield is very important. This is going to be a target, so expect it to be destroyed almost immediately. This is a good one to put that enchantment on that gives it Death Touch Indestructible. Not really too worried about the Death Touch, but the Indestructible is very, very important. But with Commander, you have so many ways of removing things. But still, this is a really good card to have in your deck. And honestly, you'll see a lot of people buy this deck just to pull this card out. Tempt with Discovery is a 4-drop sorcery speed. Tempting offer. Search your library for a land card and put it on the battlefield. Each opponent may search their library for a land card and put it on the battlefield. For each opponent who searches their library this way, search your library for a land card and put it on the battlefield. Then each player who searched their library this way shuffles it. So basically, if no one chooses to do this, you're paying 4 mana for a tutor to search out a land. But if everyone at your table, 9 times out of 10 you're playing a pot of 4, if everyone searches, you're going to get 4 lands off this. And keep in mind, it's not basic, so it could be anything. Let's get a Cavern, let's get a Shock, let's get a bunch of good stuff. I don't know why you'd run Cavern saying that a tribal deck, but you get what I'm saying. You can go get 4 any lands. Alright, 4 drop, all Saprolings get +1/1. All Saprolings get +1. Not just yours, but all of them. Morph 5. When this card is turned face up, create 4 1/1 green sapling creature tokens. Very interesting. Remember this card in the mirror match. It may get you killed, or it may save your life. Trail of Mystery. 2 drop for an enchantment. Whenever a face-down creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may search your library for a basic land card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Whenever a permanent you control is turned face up, if it's a creature, it gets 2/2 into the end turn. Okay, not bad, not bad. Biomass Mutation. It is 2 green or 2 blue, either or, however you want to max it, or a blue and a green, and X. Creatures you control have base power and toughness XX until the end of turn. This could be a pretty big blowout if you do it right. Bounty of the Luxa. 4 drop enchantment. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, remove all flood counters from Bounty. If no counters were removed this way, put a flood counter on it and draw a card. Otherwise, add 1 waste, 1 green, and 1 blue. So, the way I understand this, on it and draw a card. Otherwise, so if no counters removed, you get to draw a card. Otherwise, you get to add mana. Interesting. I have to look more into that card. Alright. Sagumala. 6 drop for a 6/6 with trample and hexproof and morph. So this is kind of neat. You never know what's coming because it's just a little too 6/6 boom and big things happen. This is good. This is good. Okay. Trionic Resonator. 2 drop. You can pay 2 to copy target triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets for that copy. This is really good considering half our creatures flip over and do something really cool. 2 mana to copy that. Pretty powerful. Darkwater Catacombs. You can pay 1 and add a blue and a black. Love the art. Exotic Orchard. This comes with all the pre-con decks. You can add 1 mana of any color land an opponent controls could produce. Lana War Waste adds a waste, or you can tap for green or black, but you're going to lose a life by doing it. Shrine of the Forsaken Gods. You can add 1 colorless, or you can add 2 colorless, and spend that only to cast colorless spells. Activate this ability only if you control 7 or more lands. That ain't bad considering Morph is colorless. Sunken Hollow. This is what I was talking about earlier, where you're Farseek. You can go get a island or swamp. This is one of those check lands. Enters battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basics. Thespian Stage. This is a really good card. This is running Legacy lands. You can tap it to add a colorless or pay 2. Thespian Stage becomes a copy of target land, except it has this ability. Usually what this is done is you play this with Dark Depths, copy Dark Depths, sack this, you get a big 20/20 indestructible lifelink, big stuff, you know what I'm talking about. But this ain't bad, lots of good stuff can happen with this, and I love the art. I'm definitely going to be putting this in my new commander that I'm going to build here when the Throne of Eldraine comes out, because I really want to build a deck themed around the fairy tale thing, and with the whole Thespian Stage, I feel like it really feeds into it. Yavimaya Coast. Add colors, and blue and green will paint you. This is our light blue land, not necessarily baby blue, but like this, it's a 1 1/1,000,000th of a blue. Swamp. This has slow swamp effects. Dark swamp effects. Slow swamp. Then we have some really big... By the way, if you guys haven't caught on anything I'm saying like Slow Swamp Shades Color, I'm just full of it. I'm just joking with you. I hope no one actually takes me serious on that. So I think we've hit our land patch. I've got a lot of forests. Then we have Ash Barrens. I think this comes with every single one of them, which is great considering this card at one point was $20 because of Pauper, and now it's down to a nice solid $2 to $3, which is still really good and really Pauper legal. By the way, you should play Pauper. Bazooka Bog. Enters the battlefield tapped. Enters the battlefield, exile all cards from target player's graveyard. This is really good against the token deck, considering the token deck can make copies of creatures that's in the graveyard. Command Tower. Oh, also the Jeskai deck, you can cast stuff from your graveyard, so yeah, that's good. Command Tower. You run it in every single commander you ever play, even if it's monocolor. Dimir Duck. This is one of those dual lands. Enters the battlefield tapped, but you bounce a land, and you can add 2 mana with these. They're a really nice ramp. Evolving Wilds. Foul Orchard. Enters the battlefield tapped, gets a green and a black. Oh yeah, Evolving Wilds is just a fetch land for a basic. Golgari Guildgate. Enters the battlefield tapped, add a green and black. Then we have our green-black bounce land. Adds 1 of each. Now we have some of our life lands. Jungle Hollow enters the battlefield tapped, but we gain a life. Myrad Landscape enters the battlefield tapped, adds a colorless, but we can also pay 2, sack it, and go get up to 2 basics, put them on the battlefield tapped. They have to share a type though. Opulent Palace enters the battlefield tapped, and we can add green, black, or blue. Reliquary Tower. This is really good for us because we have no maximum hand size. I'm actually really surprised they didn't put this in more of the decks. Simic Growth Chamber. This is probably my favorite one just for the art. It's green-blue bounce land. Simic Go-Gate. Green or blue tapped. Temple of the False Gods. This is really good. Adds 2 colorless. Activate this. Only 5 more lands. Terramorphic Expanse. This is just an Evolving Wilds. Thornwood Falls. This is another green-blue lifeland. And last but definitely not least, Woodland Stream. It's another one of our tap lands. Adds blue or green. Guys, gals, ladies, gentlemen, this is the Morph deck for Commander 2019. I think it's pretty good. I think it has a lot of potential. And all these commanders are about $20 away from being really good competitive, but they are straight out of the box competitive. I think this is going to be a really good one. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I think you can add some really good stuff in here to kind of play around, especially considering we're doing a theme where you don't really know what's on the bottom of the card. The only thing you know is everything's morphed. So everything's a 2/2, and you have options to do really good, crazy stuff. I think this deck could be a lot of fun. I think introducing this to your play group is a really good deck. If you're kind of teetering on which decks to build, I strongly recommend this one or the token deck. I consider these two the probably stronger out of the box builds. The red-black is probably going to have your most value just because of Son of Yawgmoth, and there's a few really good reprints in there. And then, of course, your Jeskai is probably going to be your strongest after upgrades. So with that, something to be considering, just take that in mind whenever you're going out there and purchasing this, whether it be your first commander, your 7th, or your 20th. So just keep that in mind, everyone. And I really appreciate you guys watching the video and coming here and watching it. Just kind of give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments, do you like this? Do you appreciate this? Let me know that there's someone out there that actually really enjoys these videos. I try to keep it all natural. I don't have a lot of equipment. The only thing I have is my my phone and a little stand for it to go on. So I'm really sorry for any kind of poor quality, but I'm glad that you can come and watch this. Really appreciate you guys, and don't forget to stick around because tomorrow morning I'm going to be unboxing our 4th and final EDH deck for this season, and that's going to be our Mystic Intellect We're going to be doing this one tomorrow morning. We would do them all back to back to back, but I really want to give all of them each independent, or that's not the one I'm looking for. I want to give them all each individual attention. That way I can tell you guys more about the deck, more about what I think about it. And I'm sure there's things in there that I've missed. So make sure to keep an eye out, subscribe, and you get to see me open that. Also, with the next set, I plan on doing a booster box opening. I'm going to be doing a bundle opening, and I'm going to unbox all the Brawl decks for you guys. So make sure to subscribe if you want to see all those unboxed, and I'll tell my thoughts on those as well, and maybe try to even put a commander together on camera with you with the new set in mind. So with that being said, guys, I really appreciate you watching my videos. Please make sure to subscribe, give me a like, give me some feedback, and we'll see you all next time.